All right. Good morning, everybody. Greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Lions Talk Live Morning Show Edition. And you know what? As you can probably tell from the thumbnail within the description of this video, Lions have changed a few things, in my opinion. And those of you who were on the live stream last night when we were talking about the news with Jared Goff, is new contract, how it all breaks down, what the actual cap number more than likely is going to end up being. Many of you guys brought up some good points. Hey, look at how much this franchise has changed. We've got guys like Terry and Arnold who are jumping up and down about being drafted by the Detroit Lions. Think back. Thinking back just not that long ago, that was not the case. People would feel like it was doom and gloom if they were drafted by the Detroit Lions. You have coordinators turning down head coaching jobs in some situations, potentially in multiple seasons, in order to remain with the Detroit Lions and try to get this team to the promised land, to the Super Bowl. Now, you got players just jumping up and down to re-sign with the Detroit Lions instead of trying to get out of town and go somewhere else. They want to be here. You've got media, just jumping up, wanting, demanding that Detroit Lions games are broadcasted on their network. And whether that's, whatever network it is, but there are reports starting to emerge about tomorrow's schedule release for the Detroit Lions. The Lions are going to have 6 to 7 primetime games. And obviously, none of this is confirmed until we see the schedule release tomorrow. But the fact that you have that being debated, speculated, leaked sources, what are coming out and saying that the Lions have multiple networks fighting for them to be on their channel and a primetime game against some big matchup opponent. Think about all these different metrics and what it means for this franchise. Once upon a time, and I apologize, I do not remember who brought this up last night. Once upon a time, the Lions were considered one of the cheap teams in the league. You don't really want to go to there and get paid because you're not going to get paid. If you get drafted by them, you're never going to get an ideal second contract. There were people I can recall that thought Barry's contract could have been better. Calvin's, obviously, we know he went through some stuff towards the end of his career here in Detroit. But you get that has changed with this regime. This franchise now under Sheila Hamp and Brad Holmes with MCDC and everybody else, it's really changed. And what we're seeing now is probably tough for most of us to really digest, take in, and especially when you give in the fact what we've seen the last several decades and such. This franchise is no longer that franchise. This isn't your dad's Detroit Lions team. Isn't my dad's, your dad's. More than likely, we've seen the real changing of the guards in the NFL. Most people, even though we remember the past, we can all say this: the Detroit Lions franchise is now potentially one of the top half teams in the league, maybe even the top 10 teams in the league as far as marketability, player base, front office health. All these different metrics have come together, and what we can say is this is the Detroit Lions franchise we probably have all been dreaming of the majority of our life. Now we've got it. So there are going to be some people that raise eyebrows and say, man, you can't pay a right tackle that kind of money. You can't pay a slot receiver that kind of money. You can't pay a casted off, has-been quarterback that kind of money. Because let's look at it. This is stuff that most franchises do if they want to stay relevant for the foreseeable future. And we'll say 2, 3, 4, 5 years after that, it's going to be different drafted players out here, different people on the team, etc. This is looking more and more like, I'll say, the Baltimore Ravens under Ozzie Newsome, or I guess you could say the Cleveland Browns too with him. The way he drafted, the way he resigned players, the way he managed that team, the way ownership stayed out of his face and just let him do things. In my opinion, if he's not the greatest general manager I've seen in my lifetime, he's up there with him. And now you have Brad Holmes, somebody who appears to have studied how the Green Bay Packers have developed franchises and maintained them at a high level for 30, 40 years. He studied how the Cleveland Browns / Ravens did it. You get the idea. He came into Detroit saying, I've got to find a way to make this a sustainable, repeatable event, not just 1 year, one off here and there, not just every once in a while we make the playoffs and make a little bit of noise, but hey, we're going to do this year in and year out. And that's what I think we're going to all talk about tonight, or excuse me, this morning. See what you guys have to say on it. get your guys' thoughts and information because you guys did bring up a lot of great points during the Jared Goff breaking news contract, whatever you want to say, video last night. So you guys got me thinking, you got me debating, and let's see what the Duke crew all has to say about this morning. Before we get into all that, though, a couple real quick things. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, why the heck not? We need about 50 more subs to get to 6,700. So if you can help out with that, that'd be great. Also, if you're enjoying the video, you can take just a second of time, hit the thumbs up, like button, whatever you want to call it, button. We try to get each video between 200 to 300 thumbs up, likes, or whatever, because it helps push the content out to new people. Last but never least, if you're looking to buy or sell property, shameless plug to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Let me use over 30 years of work experience in the industry to your behest, save you some money either on the purchase or sale of property. It can be commercial property, lakefront property, vacant land property, who knows, any kind of property out there. As long as it's within the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, St. Joe, Detroit, Ann Arbor, Adrian, Michigan, wherever it may be, as long as it's within the state of Michigan, I can work for you, give you some good advice, try to save you some money, and go from there. So give me a call, shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. All right, welcome to Lions Talk Live. Let's see what the Duke crew is talking about this morning and what their thoughts are on all of this. So let's hop on over and get going. JDC, good morning all. Good morning to you too. Moonscar, good morning, coach and Duke crew! Exclamation point. Hope the doctor's visit went well. It did, man. Just routine physicals. Definitely wants me to get a little bit more vitamin D, and then just some stuff, diet changes. Wants me to try to get my cholesterol down a little bit more. But what do you want to say? Everything else was good. So yeah, heart rate, blood pressure, all that stuff else was good. All right, Bo, what do you got? Good morning, Duke crew. Superdome or bust? Exclamation point. Hail to the king. King Goff is here, and he's going to be here to stay. And probably within the next week or two, we'll probably at that point, Adam Scheffler or somebody else will come out and say, hey, here's the full details of Goff's contract. You've already seen that hit with Panay Sewell. I think Amar Raz as well. But either way, especially with quarterbacks, they're going to get those details out, just like with Kirk Cousins. Everybody was thinking when they drafted the one kid was 8th overall the draft a few weeks ago. Man, what the heck? But then when you look at Kirk Cousins' contract really is just a 2-year contract. Yes, you can have him for 3 and 4 years, but in essence, if the team wants to move off him after 2 years, they really can. They don't have anything tying him to them at that point. Goff, from what I've heard, really it's a 3-year deal. The 4th is still in play, but obviously it's a team-controlled 4th year. And when it's all said and done, you take off the incentives. Most of them are going to be vastly unachievable. That it would appear that Goff's contract is going to be somewhere around 47-ish million a year, a little bit more, a little bit less. Could be debatable. But yes, hail to the King Goff. Moonscar, Goff's contract. What we learned from St. Brown and Sewell is signing bonuses prorated onto the year as well. So 170 guaranteed. Let's say 60 of that signing bonus means 12 per year over 5 years. Yeah. And the more details we get about it, the more we'll see how it actually layers out. And that's, I get there's always going to be a couple people, if you say, hey, this or that, until it's, reported by, Scheffler or somebody else, Jeremy Risden or something like that. We're all going to be debating about what the actual numbers are, but that seems in line that it's going to be somewhere around, like I said, 46 to 48 million a year. So spot on with that, Moonscar. Detroit D, greetings, salutations to everyone. Let's go Lions, 100%. And good morning to you, D. Hopefully having a great one. Detroit D, Goff at 42, not that bad at all. No, if that's what it ends up being, when it's all said and done, if he's down to around 42, then yeah, I think everybody's going to feel like, whoa, we just got a steal there. So, and I would agree. If it ends up being somewhere around that, then yeah, well, I think we said, hey, Goff needs to take a team-friendly deal. That would be it. Mike DeMarine, how do you let's see? Howdy, Dan Lions faithful. Go with Goff and stop complaining about money. We have not seen a team in management like this ever. Believe in Brad. Woo! Man, I can't believe we're 10 minutes in, and I think that's the first woo. So yeah, Don Burr is probably going, okay, keep that going. So, but yeah, you're right, Mike. Change sometimes is hard for people to take, and we're talking about a team and a franchise that have change things around, and now we're doing things more to keep and maintain the level they're at, maybe even continue to improve upon it with better draft picks, etc. Continuing to hit with some guys that are developmental players. So I think you're spot on, Mike. Keep it going towards that direction. That direction, up, up, up and away. JD, don't scoff at Dre Forge. All right, fair enough. All right, let's see. Bookadoo, what do you got? Good morning, Coach. Do crew! Exclamation point. Goff must have had a dream about the woo, and he signed yesterday. Go Lions. Could be, man. Could be. Let's see. Big Eddie Greens, salutations, everyone. Now that Goff is the man here for several more seasons, think back to all we got of the Stafford trade. Good point. Brad really did well with that trade. Yes, he did. I mean, you think about it, you got, I don't remember everybody off the top of my head who we got for it. Well, I say we got Goff. You got a Pro Bowl quarterback. You gave up a Pro Bowl quarterback to get a Pro Bowl quarterback. That seems alone to work. You got whatever the age difference is between the two. Want to say 5 years. Stafford, I love Stafford, but here are the facts. He is a little bit older. He is a little bit more injured than Goff. Goff has had a remarkably uninjured career, a very healthy career, I guess you'd say. He got Iffy from the trade. You got Laporta, Gibbs from the trade. I feel like there's somebody. Oh, Jameson Williams. I feel like there's still somebody I'm missing, but we all get it. The Lions did pretty well with that trade. All right, Ed. Hey guys, what's up? Just kicking off the morning. Hopefully you're doing well there, Ed. Mike the Marine, thumbs up, 100%. Ed, Twitter was after the news. I really only get on Twitter. Let's see, every once in a blue moon, and usually it's just to post some stuff about stocks with some of the stock people I talk to. Every once in a while, I'll post something about the Lions, but just not too much, man, just because it can be a headache out there. All right, let's see. Clark, good morning, everyone. Exclamation point. Coach, hope you're doing well. Sorry about your tooth. Yeah, it's a little bit of a chip. They're not going to be able to do anything with it for about a month, but it didn't hit the nerve or anything, so it's not like I'm in pain. I just keep putting my tongue on it. I got to try to not do that. But they're going to put, I guess, a crown on it. I've never have done that before, so I don't know jack about it. So I'm going to probably at the gym or something today watch some YouTube stuff about what is a crown on your tooth. So he said that he just didn't think he could do more to it without doing the crown because, I don't know, he explained it to me, and I'm going to trust him because that's more his forte than mine. All right, let's see. Moonscar, this year he was at 32.3, now add 12, so 44.3. Then say the remaining 110 guaranteed contract is 35 million plus 12, 2025, 37 plus 12, 26, 38 plus 12, 27, 17 non-guaranteed. So in 28 plus 12, that is a total of 187 million plus 25 million incentives. Yeah, sounds about right. I'm not going to say I'm going to guarantee all that math in my head at this hour, but I'm going to go with it and trust you on that, Moonscar. So we'll go with that. Bo W sealed the deal. There you go. Hey, old you could do with that. Ed, someone made a very good point. The same Lions fans that are hating on the Goff contract are the same ones saying in Brad we trust. Well, if you trust him, you wouldn't, you wouldn't be questioning him. That's a good point, man, Ed. And I do get your point that a lot of people say in Holmes we trust or Brad we trust, Goff we trust, whatever. We trust in people. But when they do something we disagree with, now we kind of abandon that trust. So do you really trust those people? That's the question. Ed, I'm not worried. One, we don't know cap hits. Two, Philly is paying Hurts a lot of money and everyone and their mom. Three, Goff still owes the NFC North. Four, Brad Holmes is still our GM. All valid points, Ed. Very, very valid points. Bo, watch your tongue or have it cut from your head. Brad has made it real. He has, man. He's done a great job. Brad Holmes, I mean, can we think of a move he's made that has egregiously blown up? So start with that, I guess, is my logic. But by Lion standards, there hasn't really been a move that they really did terrible with that particular move, whether it's re-signing of a player, drafting of a player, free agent, or whatever. There hasn't been that moment. Have there been some players that haven't totally worked out well? Yeah, but even to some degree, those players have done something. I guess the only one that really jumps out as being bad would be Emmanuel Mosley, but guy blew an ACL, second snap of his time here in Detroit. those things unfortunately happen. Levi Onwuzurike, I get they probably rolled the dice to a certain extent on, hey, his back healed, and maybe he will this year be a little bit more than what he has been the prior seasons in Detroit. But unfortunately, injuries happen. Outside of the some injury related things with players, I really think they've done very well. Jameson Williams, I get he took people through a lot of grief at Detroit Lions for taking a guy that isn't going to be able to really help you his first year. But you know what? He is a speed burner. I would argue that the second half of last season, he really started to come together, especially in the playoffs. In the playoffs, I thought he played more and more like the guy everybody anticipates he's going to be. Now, if he can do that this year, then man, they've really done well. So there are definitely some moves that aren't as successful as others. But at the same time, when they've hit big on Gibbs, Laporta, um, Aiden Hutchinson, Panay Sewell, St. Brown. And of course, I'm going to throw in a James Houston plug there, but we all get it. They've done very well here. Brad Holmes has. All right, Jesse, good greetings, salutations, y'all. Man, Holmes has spent some money this year. He has, like a lot of it. Can't call him Dollar General no more. No, you really can't. I think those days are at least behind us for the here and now, because I don't remember exactly what it was. There was something on ESPN or whoever it was last night. So the Lions on these 3 contracts they've signed have spent like $444 million. And don't hold me to that. That sounds right. I don't have it in front of me. But either way, Brad Holmes is opening the checkbook. He's running the debit card or whatever, and he's doing what he can to retain the core players. All right, Mike the Marine. Disner is a master at contracts. There you go. I'll go with that. Detroit D. Our defense is going to be the talk of the league. Top 10 defense this year with a no-fly zone. And I really do think we need to get some T-shirts or something like that made up just to bring that out. By the way, visit lionstalklive.com for all your gear needs, whether it's T-shirts, sweatshirts, or mugs or whatever. I know Jen's probably listening, so I need to get that out there. But either way, I agree with you. I think it's going to be the most fun defense we've probably been able to watch since at least 2014. And I'll even say, just because I'm so aggressive as a coach, it's probably going to be the most fun defense we've watched in my lifetime in Detroit. That's if they do what I think they're going to do. And I won't bore you guys with what that is. I think most of you guys have heard that before. All right, Bo, bringing daylight to the night. There you go. That's a good one, man. I like that one. Moonscar, this contract will incrementally increase along with the salary cap, which is determined by the league revenue. NFL is about to bring in more cash than ever before with the games in Germany and Brazil. There's that. And then you look at what they're doing with Christmas Day, and there's some other stuff. They're also selling off more and more games to specific streaming services, and not like for the season, but hey, it sounds like the NFL is going to get $100 million per Christmas Day game to potentially go on Netflix. And maybe those numbers aren't fully correct, but you get it. They're going to get paid for the Christmas Day games on Netflix or whoever winning the bidding war. You're having other streaming services trying to acquire some games, even if it's not for the full season, just here and there. So the NFL, I mean, they're a cash cow, and that's going to be passed on to the team. So yes, you're correct. The salary cap is going to go one way up. Rocky, good morning, all, and the times they are a changing in Detroit. They are, and woo, back at you, Rocky. They are a changing in Detroit, and this franchise, it's starting to look like it might be one of the cream of the crop in the NFL. Maybe one of the models, not just in this league, but in other leagues for people to mimic. Ed, for all we know, this could really be structured as a 2-year deal. We don't know. Yeah, for all we know, it could be a 2-year deal. I'm hearing it's going to be 3, and yes, the 4th is in play, but it's a team-controlled 4th. So really, if they want to move on off Goff, maybe you're right. Maybe it's just a 2-year deal, sort of like Kirk Cousins. The guaranteed money's it, spread across. The good thing is it does sound like they're going to start spreading across with this year, the last remaining year of his current deal, before putting it on the other one. So if that's the case, and I want to say it was Moonscar and somebody else in the chat put that out there, then it gets even cheaper. You start getting closer to the 44, 42 million a year deal, and that is incredibly team friendly. So can't always trust the initial headline that comes out at 43 or 53 million a year, because it already sounds like that's really not the case. Bo, touchdowns are going to be going to block out the lights. Fair enough. We'll go with that. And good morning, by the way. France, good evening, everyone. Coach Kajora, is that your book? Question mark. Seen the photo on it, and it looks like you. Has to be. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's one of the books I've published. So yeah, you can get that at like eBay or Amazon.com, stuff like that. So it's just my question is, how the heck do you see that over in Germany? I mean, that's cool, but I wouldn't have guessed that. Michael, let's see. Greetings, salutations, coach and Duke crew! Exclamation points. Super Bowl or bust, 1,000%. You know what? I'm thinking more and more. Unless something really egregious happens, the Detroit Lions are going to the Super Bowl this year. It's going to be a fun ride. Get your, I guess you can't say VCRs, but whatever it is to record all the games, get that thing out, record all the games, because you know what? This is going to be an historic season, I think, in Motown. Ed, I think this means we are all in at the trade deadline this year. Let's make it happen. That's a fair question. Brad Holmes, we've come out to find out that last year he did try to make some moves, did try to acquire some players, did try to beef up team. I mean, I know he tried to get Burns from Carolina, Sweat from Washington. I want to say there was somebody else, but don't hold me to it. But anyways, he did try to get some players in here to help last year's team. Just the costs weren't working out for him, the price to acquire those players. So he moved on. Moonscar at Bo Volbet came on the radio on the way home yesterday, and I couldn't help think of you. Haha, there we go. Fair enough. Let's see, one funky Moonscar. The league gets its biggest money from TV and streaming deals. They do. There are no new streaming deals coming up anytime soon. The salary cap is not about to skyrocket again for a while. The only thing I would say to that one funky, while you're right on all those things, I'm pretty sure, just from watching from the stock analyst reports and stuff, it's one of the biggest things in play right now are some of the individual games potentially being sold off, and it sounds like they haven't. And maybe I missed something, so apologies if I have. But with the Christmas Day games alone, they're on Wednesday this year. They're trying to sell them off. There's a couple different organizations trying to bid for the rights from them. And the fact that Netflix is trying to get into sports more and more, it makes sense why they're trying to do it. But the commanding price per game, I mean, that's a wee bit of cash. Now that's going to get spread across the league and then all teams too. But they are trying to do more of those type of things, I think. Good, Scar. So today I will probably think of you. Sunfield could be. Just okay. Good morning, all. I like the fact we have locked up some of our best young players. Any chance we continue resigning guys this offseason? Is it possible? Sure. And who would it be next? Man, I don't know. Aleem McNeil would be up there. Maybe Hutch. I'm really not sure who would be next in line. And could you want to do some of these guys now before they have potentially breakthrough seasons? That there could be a risk to reward there for sure. All right, Ed, the great thing is that at least we still have Brad Holmes, who has shown he can bring in talent on rookie deals. This is true, and I think that's what they're trying to do with some of these guys. You look at, just use like Mahogany and Manu as examples. Let's speculate that some of the guys in the offensive line are eventually going to retire, age out, contract out, or whatever. You're going to have some of those guys on some pretty low deals for a few seasons. Now, you will probably have to lose some of those seasons in development for them, but at least the Lions seem to have a plan to save some money at those points with some of these younger guys. JDC, put some status quo on and Boogie. There you go. Ed, just say Kate, in my opinion, guys like Aleem and Iffy would be stupid to resign now when if they ball out again, can get paid more. Yeah, I get your point there. Yeah, if they want to try to, if you're Aleem or Iffy, you have another good season, especially a real strong season by one of them, you're going to get paid more either by the Lions or somebody else. Bo, Goff is avenged. He is, man. He's got to feel like he's on, king of the world right now. And all that bad time from when he got traded to Detroit, let go from LA, kicked to the curb, that's got to be in the past by now. All right, Ed, just say K, Ed, I'm hoping Aleem is resigned. There you go. Yeah, I could understand that. Hatman, good morning, Dan and Do family. It's a great day to be a Lions fan. Woo! There you go. And good morning to you, Hatman. Rocky, so far that's big bucks for 3 players, which I like. I hope they get some money for a few other players because you don't win many games with just 3. It takes a team. It does, man. It does. And they're going to have to keep moving the money around, keep drafting well. bringing in good cost free agents. I'm going to trust that they've got a plan. All right, Moonscar at Bo. Let's see what Captain Steve Rogers thinks about that. Fair enough. Lions fan number one, sanitation of it. Off I trust, hard not to. Steve Rogers at Moonscar. Avengers assemble. All right, very good. The Avengers are assembling. All right, see, Bo, we have a authority on a cap. Will bow and stand in the sun. There you go. See, there. They'll stand away. Ed, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what Goff is getting paid. If they win a Super Bowl, no one is going to be talking about how much he makes. This is also true. If you're a Lions fan, all you're worried about is one thing: bring home that championship. All right, Trump's woo, woo, woo. There you go. It's like a choo-choo train. Quentin, great sanitation. Yo, some of the fans cracked me up yesterday listening to the radio. People complaining we spent too much on Goff. Man, go find us a better quarterback who ain't going to cost more cash. I mean, that's the other part of it. We all know what we have in Goff. And is he perfect? No. Could he be perfect for Detroit? This is also a possibility. What we do know is what he is and does well. He's young. He doesn't get hurt. He's a leader. The team likes him, loves him, I guess you could say. Same with the fan base, the vast majority of the fan base. Could you go out? Is it possible and get another quarterback? Yes. Who, who would we get that we say is equal to Goff? And then is it possible to get better than Goff? What are you having to give up to acquire that person? I know some fans are going to say it's Hendon Hooker. Maybe it is. But man, this dude hasn't even been on the field yet. He hasn't even gone through full OTAs, preseason training, or anything. So if we're banking everything on him, yeah, I guess what I would say is I've been a Detroit Lions fan long enough to just be a little skeptical about that situation. Because if it doesn't play out, ooh, man, we've really probably set the franchise back a few years, I would say. So I don't know, man. Maybe Hooker ends up being the dude. We'll find out. And at that point, maybe is there some stuff in Goff's contract that we're not aware of where maybe the team foresaw this as a possibility. These are the things we don't know. What I can say is if you really do feel like this is a Super Bowl or bust season, then you know what? You probably don't want Goff going out there on a one-year deal where he feels like, man, every throw, I've got to be, a rock star. Otherwise, I'm not getting a new deal in Detroit. So you've alleviated a lot of that mental fatigue and pressure from him. All right, Ed, Vikings fans were saying, quote, we did the same thing with Kurt. Y'all aren't going anywhere, end quote. And my response to them all is, quote, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had a competent GM. Ooh, this is true. Hey, I mean, you look around, there's all sorts of examples of teams that did it and it worked, and others that didn't, it just didn't work. But you can't be afraid to make mistakes, man. You can't be afraid to do anything like that in life. You either go forward or you will go backwards. There's no middle ground, and that's my firm belief in life. Whether it's athletics, coaching, or anything in between, the Lions are going for it. At the end of the day, it may or may not work. But you know what? If you don't go for it, if you don't try, you won't ever get there. So that's what I'll say on that, at least. All right, so boo-hoo to you, Viking fans. All right, Phil, Sheila is going to have to sell a few more trucks to keep up with these contracts. Yes, ticket prices are going up again. Yeah, it's just the nature of things. You look at contracts 20 years ago versus now, they've gone one way. Ticket prices, Mountain Dew prices, unless you're talking about the Circle K, have all gone one way. And that's just the nature of the economy. So it is what it is. Jedi Sith, good morning, Duke Crew, back at you. Trump's, is there a no trade clause in Goff's contract? That I do not know. I could not answer. If somebody does know that answer, throw it in the comment section if you would, please. Por favor. All right, Moonscar Blade, it's 7 a.m. Now we turn to your regularly scheduled program at 5, 4, 3, 2. Yes, I know you got the countdown thing. I do the best I can with it, man. Let's see, Stephanie, good morning, boys. Good morning, Steph. Hopefully you're doing well. Don, ban the woo and the Frank's Red Hot Sauce on Bears. There you go. You got to enjoy some hot sauce on the Bears. All right, Trump's watch Hooker totally light it up. If he does, man, he does, man. I would say it'd be great to have a very competent, quality backup that at some point, somebody's quarterback's going down or flames out, doesn't do well. And now you can probably get quite a bit for Hendon Hooker if they so desire. The other part of it, though, is too, like we've been talking about with Jake Bates, he may not use them all the time, but it's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. So if Hooker ends up totally being the man and he's the backup this year, great for us, man. Great for us, I would say. So if something were to happen, you have a competent backup. All right, Phil, MCDC and Brad also, yeah, we're also re-signed. That's a good point. I should have pointed that out, Phil. Thank you for that. Oh, we're not hearing much about that. No, you show the amount of confidence the organization, the ownership has in these guys. They're re-signed. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. And it sounds like everybody's really sold on this franchise, the here, the now, and the future. So I'm happy with that. And thank you for pointing that out, Phil. Dave, the drafting talent of the Lions will change them forever. Yeah, keep drafting talent, keep them relevant, keep them coming in. And so far, I can only say this after 4 drafts now with the Detroit Lions with this regime. They've gone to every year with a plan, and they're talking about or have some idea who they're moving on from, who they're wanting to retain, and how they're going to replace those who are moving on. Trump's ban anti-free speech. Fair enough. I think that's a great point. Bo, hi, Don. Neil to the king. There you go. Neil to the king. Yes. Don, Don Burr and the anti-woo regime. Woo! There you go, Bo. Motown Mitch, Jared Goff, just for Mr. Burns. Woo! Mr. Burr, there you go. Mr. Burr, there you go. Hookadoo, good morning, Miss Stephanie. Go Lions, are you all right? Good morning. Detroit D, Don Burr is in the building. Go Lions. Yes, he is. And he's wearing his anti-woo shirt. Phil, what about Ben Johnson? Question mark. Is he staying with Goff? Oh, boy, we're going to have to wait till after the season. But I would say, and me just being a coach and being selfish, if he gets another opportunity to go be a head coach after the season, man, he's really got to start thinking about taking it. Unless he just maybe the only thing we can answer, I can't answer, none of us can answer, is maybe he just wants to be a part of the franchise. Maybe he just doesn't want to be a head coach, and that's okay. And same with Aaron Glenn. I mean, I wish well upon both of them because I think at some point you need to take that step or it's no longer going to be an option. So we'll see what they do. All right, Jerome, morning, coach. I stutter a lot when I talk. Do they have speech therapists that can help pro athletes talk for the media, answering questions, being quick on their thoughts? These rookies speak really well. They do have people that can work with you. Now, how much they really worry about it, I don't know. I think that comes down more to the individual athlete. The team's probably not going to work or worry about it a ton unless you're, I hate to say it, but unless you're probably a quarterback who's going to be in front of the mic a lot. Yeah, I would say if you want to have somebody work with you to improve those things, there are people out there. You'll have to look them up now. You have to look them up online. It's just not something I know a ton about, but I do know they are out there. All right, Doug, dealing with funny money. My son gets $10 an hour the last 9 years. This is the voice of inflation. Tickets, parking, merch, vendors, the real voice of inflation. Yeah, I mean, you look at the new laws in, California, whatever, that's like $20 an hour for fast food workers or whatever. Quote me on that. I don't really know. It's just, you can pay people more, but then the price of everything else goes up more to offset it. It's, it's how an economy works. I'm not here to say it's right or wrong or indifferent. I'm just here to say that's what I always see. And how they keep the Mountain Dew at Circle K just 82 cents, I'll never know, man. But God bless them for it. Phil, front office stays humble, I hope. Yes, I hope they do. Boy, I got a little tongue-tied twisted there. Don Burt at Detroit D, there you go. Frank Towns, greetings, salutations, everyone. Back at you, Frank. JDC, Magic 8 Ball says Lions Super Bowl. Hell yeah, I'll take that, man. And you know what? When we win this year, I might have to do a 24-hour live stream of the post-victory celebration. And I'll be taking the next couple days off after that. Ed, what do you got? Dan, let's go. Exclamation point. It's effing time. Forget the haters. Yeah, never worry about haters, man. There's always going to be someone like at the video yesterday morning or yesterday during golf, just pointing out how the numbers probably will work out. There's somebody in here yammering and screaming about it, and can't make everybody happy, man. So don't stress about it when somebody is unhappy. Ken, good morning, Dan, the Duke crew! Exclamation point. What a great day in Lions history. Woo! Yeah, you know what's going to be greater? Getting another NFC title, getting playoff wins, getting to the Super Bowl. I mean, I'll probably have a little bit more than a Mountain Dew during that Super Bowl. But you know what? When we win it, that's going to be a great day. Rocky, does anyone else miss the beginning of the show with a commercial? I think a lot of people do. It's just it's YouTube. They got to make money too, right? Or Google, whoever it is. They play their little bit of a 5-second thing. I understand why people do the intro. I keep trying to work on the intros. One thing I will, full disclosure, so the Star Wars thing or the Lions video where I had the Lions players going around, anything like that, if I put it in the channel, it gets flagged. So now it's not horrible, but now the video doesn't make any revenue and stuff. So I'm trying to find mediums around it, how to get that stuff to all play out. The only one I haven't been flagged on is when I just put the Lions Talk Live symbol there in the countdown. So maybe I'll just have to come up with more things like that. But I was unaware until about a week or so ago when some of you guys pointed out that even on the live stream, you have that countdown at the start. So I'll try to figure it out and make it more acceptable for all so nobody misses anything. All right, Frank, it's a great time to be a Lions fan. Let's flipping go. Jared Goff, I'll go with that. General Brown, Hooker is now draft potential for the Lions. He is. Could he be here 2 years from now? Who knows, man? We'll see what shakes out. And good morning to you, Brown. All right, let's see, Motown Mitch. I would also like to add a hacksaw thumbs up. Whee! I'm not sure how to do that one. I don't know. For Mr. Burns. There you go. Oh, yeah, this is Robert G. at Don Burr. Let's see. Don Burr at Robert G. Step into a Slim Jim. Yes, snap into a Slim Jim. Step into a Slim Jim. There you go. The little macho man. Robert G. 100%. 100%. Brent Green, salutations, everyone. All roads go through Detroit! Exclamation point. The Goff fence rules. Superdome or bust. Woo! You know what? I agree with all that, man. It's going to be fun to see what happens this year. And I do think with this defense this year and the extra reps this offense I'm anticipating will get, if they can fix the third quarter nap time that this offense goes through, if they can fix that this year, then you know what? I do believe there's some potential Jared Goff could be in the running for the MVP this year. All right, Mike the Marine. Last season, NFL team stats: Detroit offense points / game 27.1, fifth defense points / game 23.2, 23rd. Can our defense go to 11th and 20.6? I think yes. I think there's some possibility. Now, what I'm guessing is the points per game will come down a little bit, but not egregiously. What I do believe is going to go up are the amount of turnovers we cause and the amount of yards ultimately we give up will go down. So we'll see if that shakes. All right, Jerome, what do you got? Hey, Coach, do we now have all of our pieces to finally get to the Super Bowl? I trust what you say, Coach. Do we? Absolutely. Absolutely we do. As long as we stay healthy, don't have any self-inflicted wounds repeatedly, yeah, but we can definitely get the Super Bowl. We have enough talent on both sides of the ball. Now it just comes down to this. Whenever you get in the playoffs, it's going to be a game of inches. It's going to be small details here and there. The difference between the 49ers losing and winning to the Detroit Lions or the Green Bay Packers are just really one or two plays. Those one or two plays go for the Lions or Green Bay Packers. The 49ers are out. You could also say with the Detroit Lions in the NFC title game, one or two plays go their way instead of against them, they're in the Super Bowl. You could also say with the Rams game, one or two plays go for the Rams, they probably would have won that game. But in the playoffs, it's whoever makes those extra plays that will advance. All right, Broski Bear would like to start today's show with saying he respects the Lions going all in while they have a window. Lions fans deserve a good team to cheer for. I'll agree with that, Broski. That's good of you to say. All right, I'm not sure what that is, JDC. Erie Don, all right. Woo! There you go. All right. I'm not sorry, man. I just don't know what all the things mean. All right, Frank Towns. In fairness, Barry was at a time highest paid running back. It's Lions who wouldn't go get the needed pieces he needed. I would agree with that, Frank. And it just, if you watch that thing on Amazon, the Berry thing, I was aware they contemplated getting Warren Moon. And I'll go to my grave thinking if they would have got Warren Moon, we would have made it to the Super Bowl. That team, those early 90s teams were stacked, especially on offense. They had a pretty good defense. It's just, whoever, I can't remember his name right now. I remember his face. The general manager did not want to get Montana, didn't want to get Moon because he felt like they were too old, wanted to go in a different direction, didn't think Eric Kramer would be the man, just didn't have belief in him. Didn't matter what the coaching staff said, wanted to go out and get his guy. That guy was Scott Mitchell. And it's no disrespect to Scott Mitchell. I think he tried the best he could when he was here in Detroit. But that guy would have drawn so many red flags for me just because of his personality traits. There was, without question, he was a big, strong-armed dude. But talk about people, not everybody handles stress and pressure well. Some people very much internalizes it, and it slows down everything they do. You hear them on the mic when you ask them questions. You put them through different drills to have them try to answer or respond, and you can just see they're so stressed out they cannot think. Sports-induced trauma or stress. And I would say that Scott Mitchell suffered a lot from that, and just felt like every season it got worse and worse for him. So he was already coming in from Miami, had red flags, in my opinion. I really feel like if those Lions would have went and just stuck with Kramer or went out and got Warren Moon, I would have been happy, man. Or got Montana, they probably would have made the Super Bowl. I mean, they were just that stacked everywhere else. But unfortunately, in this league, if you do not have a quarterback, especially one who can handle some fair NFL pressure, you're not going far. And that's also why the seasons were so up and down. Especially you watched Mitchell in playoffs or high stress games. I can only really think of one time where he did well. And to be fair, that one game that they did where they won it, his passing stats, and don't hold me because it's been 30 years, but I want to say he was just a little over 50% passing. He had a couple touchdown passes, but only like 200 yards passing. And just it was good enough to win that game against Dallas, but was it really a great game by the quarterback? No. So, all right, moving back on to current times. All right, Zane, good morning to all. God bless you all. Exclamation point. Love this show. Keep up the great work. Hey, Zane, we all make this show work. It's no one person. It is the Duke crew. So I think everybody thanks you for that compliment. Motown, thank you, broski. Much respect, 100%. Gun guy. Hooker will be 30 in 4 years, proving he was drafted to be a backup only. Don't be mad. Yeah, don't be mad, man. Maybe he ends up being something more. It is definitely possible, but there's nothing wrong with getting a good quality backup quarterback and not having to constantly worry about that. Can he be more? All will be told in time. Wait and see what happens at that point. All right, Don Burr, what do you got? JDC, Brad Holmes is the best GM in football. Let's go with that. JDC, yep, he is. Brent, no more Dollar General Brad. No, I think you're right on that, Brent. One funky. John Dorsey is the guy that Holmes is using as inspiration. Yes, yeah. And Dorsey apparently is the class clown in this organization. All right, Ed O'Neill, the good thing about our coaches and the players Brad has brought in is no one is content. They all want to push and work harder to get back. That bodes well for us. Yeah, nobody's happy. Everybody feels like, man, they should have done it last year. There's more to achieve. That's why you got guys who came back last year, came back this year. I think it's going to be a fun year for the Detroit Lions. Zane, quick question. Should have Goff got more money, less money, or did they give him the right amount of money? You guys heard me do my Scooby-Doo on the contract yesterday. So I think it's going to end up being between 46 to 48 million. That, by today's standards, is not bad. It's pretty team-friendly. Now, Moonscar, give him full credit. He did a little bit further breakdown. And he is right. If you move some of that guaranteed to this year's contract, and you start applying that, it is possible that you could get Goff's yearly average down to, I don't know, man, 42, 43, 44 million. Whatever you do, the more you shave off on a year-to-year basis, I mean, that contract real quick, when other guys start getting re-signed, is going to start looking cheaper and cheaper. So let's see what shakes out. Whatever an athlete gets, I'm never mad about it because you know what? you put in a lot of grind to get that. And if somebody, like most things in life, somebody's willing to pay it to you, that's what you're worth. No different than a house or car or whatever. What's it worth? What's somebody willing to pay? All right, Doug, St. Brown and Sewell, the foundations has to be paid. Yeah, they had to be paid. What else do you do with Goff? Question mark. At least they negotiate a semi-reasonable quote going rate. Better win Super Bowl now because can't pay them all like this. No, and that's I think the biggest thing all of us have to probably get adjusted to, coming from where we've been for decades to where we are now, is the fact that when you have a lot of talented players, you are going to have to pay them. And because you're going to have to pay them, you're going to have to put out some big contracts. You are not going to be able to retain everybody. When you have an untalented team, it's pretty easy to keep everybody if they want to stay, because most of them are going to command big money. All right, Don, what do you got? Look at John Dorsey stays in the evaluation department. We are good. Yeah, if he stays there, we'll be good. Him and the subordinate coaches, scouts, etc. Yeah, they're doing a great job, and they've done a great job replacing people too. All right, Dirty Gaming, what do you got? Good morning, Dan! Exclamation point. Hope all is well. Kip, aka Hutch Jr. Good morning to you too, and glad to have you a part of the show, man. Always. Famous RW Green Sanitations all. With the way the cap is increasing and the contracts are structured, will we be able to pay almost everyone? Let's hope so, man. I mean, ultimately, at some point, some people are going to leave. Josh Reynolds is not going to be the only one. Same with Jonah Jackson. There will be others. Nobody wants to see them go, but you're going to have to make your choices, who you're going to keep, who you're going to let go, and move on from there. Don Burr, what do you got? Long, there you go. Zane, who else will get paid this offseason? That's the big question. That is the big question. Dirty Gaming needs someone on the show. Yeah, we'll have to work something out. Let's talk, man, and get you on the show for another segment, man. That'll work. 9 drinks, green salutations to all. Back at you, 9. Robert G., don't get me wrong. I would love a Super Bowl win. But just having a contender / winning team is all I need. The Super Bowl is just a bonus to me. Yeah, and man, it is nice just being able to see we're relevant on a year-to-year basis. That's a change for the Detroit Lions itself. But hey, you want to push forward. You want to go after the big prize, man. Dale, good morning, Duke Crew. Usually at work during the live show. Have to watch it later. Thank you for all you do, Dan. Love the show. Hey, man, no worries, man. I love, being here with everybody. So thank you for being a part of the show, Dale. Thank you. All right, Ken, what do you got? Good morning, Dan. Don, can we skip the band of the Woo today? We have to ask Don on that one. We'll see what he says, Ken. Trump's God is the only king. There you go. Don, we see. Ken, sure. It's a woo morning. Hey, look at Don Bird dropping a woo himself. JDC. Dan's doctor. Dan, you're as healthy as a stud field mouse. There we go. Yeah, other than I got to get cholesterol down a little bit. So probably a little less Main Street pub nachos, burgers, stuff like that. So, I'll be working on it and get it reevaluated in 3 months. But everything else, A-okay, other than the chip tooth. All right, Doug, let's see. As far as Hooker, if we trust Brad, he should at least be capable of learning our pro system during preseason and practices. Most backups only get a shot with injuries, and injuries are a reality. Yeah, 100%. It's unavoidable in a contact sport. It's unavoidable in most sports. So make sure he's ready to go should the situation arise. Trump, woo! There you go. Boo, green salutations, Dan Crew. There you go. And good morning to you too, Boo. Let's see, Robert, woo! There you go. Mike K, what do you got? You got to understand most of the new contracts don't start until 2026. So we have 2 more years and we can lock up Hutch and McNeil. There, good point on that, Mike. Trump's, woo! Burp, there you go. Don, Brad Holmes is a hell of a GM, period, exclamation points. He talks and walks around as a nice guy, but dude is a villain when it comes to building a roster. I'll go with that 1,000%. Yeah, he can flip the switch, just like most of the players on the team. When it's, hey, we're off the field, we're one person. When we're on the field, we're another person. Demetrius Stewart, what do you got? Woo! What up, though, Lions fam? What's up with you? Hopefully having a great morning, man. Let's see. Mike K, what do you got? And I am tired of the Hendon Hooker talk, exclamation point. He will be better than any backup on the field, question mark. Did anyone see Nate Sunfield? I'll take Hendon Hooker as a backup over Nate. Hendon wins us games. Yes, I think you got a good point there. Manuel, $414 million for 3 players. $414 million for 3 players, 2-year window before cap hits. Could be, man. Could be. We'll see what happens in time. JDC, Duke Crew will make opposing fans woozy. There we go. Mike Gate, not true, Michael. Not true at all. Fair enough. Trey, I see the reports that his deal is $52.3 million a year. Not a fan of it. And once you pay your QB, the team doesn't win a Super Bowl or reach there. Hope I'm wrong, but I don't think so. Rising to all. Same to you, Trey. Rising to you. I can only tell you what I think the numbers will ultimately end up being. We'll see where it all shakes, but I think it's going to be close to 46 to 48 million a year. I know there's at least some thoughts that it could be even lower than that once it's all actually laid out in front of us. So we'll wait and see, man. We'll wait and see. Ed People, there you go. Randy Parsons, my buddy is looking for a hunting property in the Charlevoix, East Jordan, Boyne City, Ellsworth area. Hoping maybe you can help him out. Can you give me your number again? 269-998-2384. Shoot me a text or whatever. Get me an email address, and I can send your buddy some properties. Just let me know basically what he wants to spend on the property or a price he doesn't want to go over. All right, and thanks for that, Randy. Thank you. Ed, people are worried about the money that's not theirs. Yeah, it happens, man. It's one thing fans do. Broski, if you want beef, then bring the ruckus. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to mess with. There you go. I'll go with that, Broski, and thank you. 9 drinks. Don Burr, GOAT. Unquestionably, wish he loved the woo. There you go. 100%. All right. Great Lakes. Let's see. Good morning, coach and crew. Exclamation point. I think this got done earlier than expected because of Dak and Lawrence's upcoming deals. Have a great day. You could be right. Could be totally right. They wanted to get it done now to keep the number down more. So you're probably onto something there with that, Great Lakes. Walt, good morning, coach and Duke crew. Woo! Glad they signed Goff. My jersey will be relevant for a few more years. Hit the thumbs up button. Yeah, if you guys could consider subscribing and hit the like button, thumbs up button. Yes, those all help. Don, let's see, at 9 drinks. LOL, no, ban the woos this morning. It's woo! Free zone. There you go. There you go. Keeping it, changing it up. All right, yeah. Whoopie. There you go. All right, Hatman. Love it, Don Burr. Phil, Don Burr. Boo to woo. There you go. Jason, contractor bus, Superdome or bus, QB of Destiny gets the contract of Destiny. The bar has been raised in Motown, roughly $50,000 an hour of game playing time. There you go. Hey, good work if you can get it, man. Unfortunately, not everybody can. Rocky, best thing is, I'm sure if needed, Goff would restructure his contract. I would say that's probably high probability in the future. If need be, he'll probably agree to redo it. Burns, no excuses for Aaron Glenn this year, right? If everybody stays healthy, I think, yeah, this should be a pretty good year for the defense. Let's see what happens, Burns. All right, JDC, I found myself yelling, woo, at my granddaughter's softball game. Nothing wrong with that, man. Probably most people thought you were just pulling your best Ric Flair. All right, Great Lakes, have to wonder who is next year's camp casualty. I would think they'll be all in at the trade deadline this year if we're near the top again. Could be, man. Could totally be. And the only way we're going to find out is to get there next year. But let's enjoy this year before we get to that. Emmanuel, Goff wanted the guaranteed money? Probably. Yeah, like most athletes. He probably looks at that. And if that's all he gets, he's probably okay with it. One funky. Hurts contract is like 21 this year and 31 next year. He has void years on the end of his deal. If Goff's contract is like Hurts, that's fine. But we don't know how Goff's breakdown. No, it'll be a week or two until we probably get those numbers. At least that's my thinking there, one funky. Phil, merch? Yes, merch. Yes, concurred. Don Burt, draft and develop has always been the recipe for success. Play gets gets paid. Yes, agreed. 9 drinks. JDC, laughing out loud. There you go, Lamo. All right. Hatman, sitting here drinking my woo coffee and enjoying the show. Woo! There you go, Hatman. Well, enjoy the show and good morning. JC, hi, Jen. Dan did good on his shameless plugs. Hey, yeah, I'm sure she's listening. Let's see. Manuel, 170 million guaranteed. Correct. Mike, Lions' first game will be home opener. Lions versus Rams. Book it. Now, wouldn't that be something? A way to open up the season. JDC, Hatman. Yeah, you're all right. Let's see. Don Burr, Manuel, in a year, Goff's contract won't even be that big of a deal. No, everything that goes by with it, it's going to look a whole lot cheaper. Manuel, they're playing in Thanksgiving. There you go. Playing them Thanksgiving. The Rams, we'll find out tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah, is the schedule release, I believe. One funky, yes, Dan, the NFL is getting money from the Xmas games, and that went into this year's cap. Okay, fair enough. That's something I may not have calculated. Manuel, Don, but when the cap hits, unavoidable. There you go. Gary, good morning, all. Grip for life, exclamation points. Jared Goff. Those games on different apps are going to wind up costing the NFL cash. The apps pay for the NFL for viewership, but the apps is but on the apps is down. I hate it. Yeah. I watch 99% of my games on a service that provides all games, no matter whichever app they're on. And you know what? It's at a really great cost. It's free. So, but you got to know the web to get there. All right, Don, Mike K, I've been saying the same thing. Lions' first game will be a Monday night game at home wearing the new black uniforms. Ooh, that's a good thought there, Don. I like that. Dave, what do you got? Coach, have you ever heard an update on when the Netflix special on the Sun God will be released? I have not heard that, David. Once I do hear, though, I'll try to get it out to you guys. But I'm sure you guys will get it at the same time I do. Gary, if the D is missed, there you go. Ed, the same haters that got Goff will be in Woodward celebrating the parade, praising him. There's a whole lot of truth to that, man. Don, Manuel, if Brad keeps drafting like he's been drafting and hitting cheap rookie deals, will offset a lot of it. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, you try to balance things out with the rookie contracts. JDC, don't scoff on Goff. I would agree. Manuel, not really. New Year's Day parade. All right, Gary, if the D is middle of the pack or better, it's Super Bowl time, baby. Woo! I popped my woos cherry. There you go. Well, congrats to you on that, Gary. Hatman, thanks, JDC. I needed the boost awake and bake, Erie. Hold on a second. I had to clear my throat. JDC, yes, thumbs up. Amy, good morning. Dan and crew. Has any other NFL team improved as quickly as the Lions? Question mark. Seems once they traded with Goff was completed, the improvement was underway. Thank you, Sheila and Brad. No, I agree. It started off slowly, but we all know by the end of that first season, you could start seeing some real signs of maturity on the team and growth. Now, the second season, that was probably the big test with the 1-6 start. But after that, the great finish, man, everything's been one way since then. And hey, we're all thankful as Lions fans. Emmanuel, but no QB. Don, all right. JDC, Match 8 Ball says, please hit the thumbs up button. Yes, pretty pleased with Mountain Dew on top. Hit that thumbs up button. Motown Mitch, Funky is nothing but a hater or a Packers fan. Oh boy, here we go. Not sure what yet. The salary cap is always going, always. And has always will, unless everyone gets scared of the sniffles again. That could be. Don, at Dan, you should do an episode on who's everybody's surprise player this year. Can't be a St. Brown Laporte, except there are stars already. Mine is Davenport will thrive and stay healthy. Let's hope so, because having him go out there and putting some real work on the edge, that would be great. Manuel, Don, healthy is the secret. Yeah, I would agree. Got to stay healthy. Don, Manuel, that's why I said my surprise. There you go. JDC, ban the band. All right, we're banning the bands of the bands. All right, Broski, Lions Talk Live. Dan, you should do a position group by position group breakdown and comparison for each team in the NFC North, and then you can rank each position group. Whew, it's going to take some work, but yeah, we might be able to make that happen. All right, Trey, as a fan, you have to ask Brad Holmes, why did they draft Hendon Hooker? Maybe it's just to have a quality backup. Insurance in case Goff wants to get hurt. Do you want Hendon Hooker out there, or do you want Nate Sunfield out there? That's the only thing I can think of. Chuckle Cheese, Hooked is getting the Jordan Love treatment. Sit back and learn. His time will come. It could be that. It really could be that. So what Aaron Rodgers got, I want to say 1 or 2 contract extensions during Love's rookie contract. So is it possible? Sure, it is. Manuel, Trey, the window is 2 years. Very good. Phil, it'll be fun to see Hooker play. Yeah, I am looking forward to it. All right, Don, I laughed when I heard a window talk. LOL. A house has multiple windows. One closes, one the other. Yes. The other opens. Yes. Trey, Manuel, last year was their best chance. It doesn't get easier, and signing your quarterback to that deal only hurts the franchise. History proves this. Yeah, I would say there's a lot of cooperating evidence with that. We just have to believe that the front office and the team really can push forward and get the going. All right, Lady Jared Goff chants during the Detroit Tigers game yesterday. Fans love Jared. They do, man. They've all rallied around him, and not just in our state, but in other states. All right, guys, it's been an hour. I got to get to work and all that kind of stuff. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're about 50 subs away from 6,700. If you would be so kind, take a real quick second and hit that thumbs up button. See, we've got a little over 400 people currently watching live. So if everybody could just do that, we'd hit our goal for the day. If there is some sort of breaking news later today, I'll get it to you as soon as possible. If you want some of the merch, t-shirts, mugs, whatever, go to lionstalklive.com. You can see the website Jen's put out for you. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.